My name is David Winchester. I'm an SAC member and board member, an artist in the local community, and I'm here at the Pop-Up Art Gallery here in Swanton for tonight and tomorrow night with my fellow artist Mike Barkyoumb, and I'm featuring barn quilts and acrylic paints on canvas, and Michael is doing watercolors. This is an example of a barn quilt, and it's a piece of art made to go outside. It's exterior grade plywood, it's primed with exterior grade paint, and all the paints and coverings to keep it to make it last as long as possible are all exterior rated high quality paints. And the barn quilts are traditionally some kind of geometric design, and they're meant to be vibrant and colorful, and you stick them up on a house or a barn or a structure outside, and it adds character and whimsy to your home. And the SAC annually hosts a barn quilt challenge, and that's really where I found out about or discovered barn quilts a couple of years ago. So they had a challenge or a thing that was going on in the springtime, and invited everybody to enter in a barn quilt. And I had never even heard of barn quilts before, really. I'd seen them, but didn't even really know what they were. And it was just a fun thing to do, and I got into it, and I had a lot of fun with the barn quilts. And this actually is a barn quilt I did for a client, and it was a lot of her inspiration about what she wanted to do. It's not necessarily geometric angles, it's more round forms and circles. It's actually really kind of tricky to paint. It's one thing to draw a diagonal line or intersecting angles or triangles, but to do the round forms is a lot trickier. So it came out really nice. They were pleased with it, and they were nice enough to let me use it for the art show tonight. So this is an example of an acrylic. This is whole bind acrylic paints on a canvas, a stretch canvas on a wooden frame. And I got into these a couple of years ago by taking a class out at 14 Star Brewery of John Young's, and rediscovered acrylics. And for a long time I was doing watercolors and a few other things in pastels and pencils. And I really like the colors and the vibrant textures that you can get with the acrylic paint, and it's a little easier to paint than oils. You don't have to wait as long for it to dry, and it's just fun. And so, but most of the paintings that you see here in the show tonight are of pictures that I have either taken or somebody else has taken, either in Vermont or locally here in New England. And most of these are the inspirations for these paintings. And I've had a great time creating this, and this is one of the ones I just created specifically for this show in the last week or so. And I posted it on Facebook, on my Facebook page one night, and a lot of people really liked it, and one person went after it and demanded just, you know, I really want to buy that. And I'm like, well, I wasn't sure I was going to sell it. And so they just said, name your price. So I said, okay, great. And so unfortunately it's sold already before the show, but they let me keep it until after the show, which is nice. And I don't know, what I look for in my paintings or the inspiration of the photographs, I like the light and the colors. So either the sunlight's shining through somehow and illuminating either autumn colors or the greens or yellows or the flowers in some way. And with the acrylic paints, they seem like I can capture that vibrant color that I see in the photographs. And somehow I can get that feel and recreate that in a painting, and it captures, I don't know, the intensity of that moment. And that's what I look for, is reflections in water and all kinds of tones and light. So right now I've been enjoying working with that type of inspiration.
Hello, my name is Mike Barkyoumb. I've been painting with watercolors for about 25 years. Like David, I dabbed in acrylics, but I found that I wasn't really suited for acrylics, so that's why I went back to painting with watercolors. I like the way the paint just flows across the page, And I also like the way the white of the paper can really make a nice dramatic painting. But when I first started out, I started painting a lot of lighthouses and a lot of boats. And people started saying, you know what, you paint too many boats, you paint too many lighthouses. But that's what I like to paint. And I think that's the secret to making a good painting is you have to paint what you enjoy. And it really strikes your fancy. So, because if you start painting like flowers, I paint flowers for greeting cards for the wife, but they don't always come out because it's not what I'm really interested in. And so anyway, that's why I started doing something different last winter. I started painting porches like in this painting here, and started to focus on the porches because that's the most interesting part of the house for me, between the doors, the chairs that happen to be there, the flowers, especially in the summertime. Even the color of the door could be, it could be different than the rest of the house as far as color. And the door just pops out and greets you. So that's why I started painting the porches, because there's also a lot of architectural detail there from the older homes that you don't see today. So I'm trying to capture that and hopefully preserve that for future reference, what have you. Well, like I said, last winter I started painting porches and architectural details for something different to do. But my primary focus when I paint is on seascapes, which could include everything from boats to landmass to lighthouses, what have you. But I really like painting boats because I've always been attracted to water. Even as a young kid, 6 or 7 years old, we were always in the lake. So anyway, like I said, I like painting boats. So these are a few of the examples that I paint. And what I'm looking for in a painting with boats is obviously the boat themselves in some sort of setting that sets off the boat. Like in this painting here, the rocks in the background really make the boat come forward and much more noticeable. This one down here was taken at a local boatyard up in Maine, and they were getting ready to put it in the water, and I was down on the seashore down here taking a picture up front, and it really stands out because it's so high in the air, it just comes right towards you. And then this one here obviously is lobster boats. I believe this one's in New Hampshire though. But what I like about this one is the boats tend to bring you into the picture, and then the houses kind of bring you through the picture and eventually out into the sky with the bird up here. But this is what I like to paint the most, and I really enjoy it. Usually when I get ready to paint, I'll tell the wife I'm going to paint today, and then I try to tell her, leave me alone. I put my iPod on and listen to music while I paint, and to me that makes a big difference because it drowns everything out and it allows me to focus on what I'm doing.